Welcome to English Simple Hub.
It's great to be here.
Today, we are going to do something a little bit different. And I have to admit, when I first looked at the source material for this deep dive, I actually laughed out loud.
Oh. And why is that?
I honestly thought there had been a mistake.
Yeah.
Because we are dedicating an entire session to pens and pencils.
Oh, yes.
It sounds so mundane, right? Like, are we really going to spend all this time analyzing stationery? It feels like something you'd talk about your first week of English class, not in an advanced deep dive.
I get that reaction. It feels incredibly low stakes. It's just office supplies.
Exactly. But then I started reading through the breakdown, and I had this realization. This isn't really about pens and pencils, is it?
Not at all. And that feeling, that idea that the topic is too simple, that's the exact trap that so many IELTS candidates fall into.
A trap. How so?
Well, you see, pens and pencils is a really common topic in part 1 of the speaking test. And because it seems so simple, candidates let their guard down. They think, oh, this is easy. And they give a simple one-word answer.
Like, I use a pen.
Exactly. And they just miss this golden opportunity to show off.
That makes so much sense. It's like a false sense of security. You're waiting for a big question about the environment or something, and they ask about your pencil case, and you just kind of flatline.
Precisely. And that's our mission today. We are going to deconstruct how to take a boring topic and turn it into a Band 9 performance. We're looking at model answers that elevate simple responses into something complex and really impressive.
I like that. It's like we're learning the shortcuts, gaming the system a little bit.
We absolutely are. It's all about strategic communication. The examiner doesn't actually care if you prefer blue ink. They care about your ability to manipulate language.
Okay, so let's unpack this toolkit. The first question in our source material is the most basic one you can imagine. Do you usually use a pen or a pencil?
A classic opener. Now, the average student might just say, I usually use a pen. Which is fine. It's correct.
But it's not impressive.
Not at all. It's a Band 5 or 6 answer. But our Band 9 model answer starts with a phrase that I think is fantastic. It says, I'd say 9 times out of 10 I use a pen.
Okay, let's stop right there. 9 times out of 10. Why is that so much better than just saying mostly?
Well, it's about idiomatic control. Mostly is functional, it does the job. But 9 times out of 10 is an idiom that shows you have a natural feel for the rhythm of English.
It sounds like something a real person would say.
Exactly. It shows comfort.
Yeah.
And then the real magic happens in the second half of that answer.
This is the grammar spotlight, right?
Yeah.
So instead of just stopping, the speaker adds, but if I was drawing something, then I'd use a pencil.
And there it is, the second conditional.
Okay, so for everyone listening who might have, zoned out during grammar class, break that down. Why is that so powerful here?
Because it's a hypothetical situation. The speaker isn't drawing, they're imagining a situation. If I was drawing, I would use. By inventing this scenario, they're creating an opportunity to show the examiner they can handle complex grammar.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
So you're basically manufacturing a reason to flex your grammar muscles.
You're manufacturing the context, yes.
Yeah.
You've just ticked a box for advanced grammar, and you do it naturally.
And the reason they give is really practical. They say, because you can rub out any mistakes.
Rub out. Did that phrase stick out to you?
It did, yeah. I feel like I usually hear erase. Is rub out correct?
It's perfectly correct. It's just a regional difference. The source material points this out. In the UK, you'd say rub out a mistake. In America, you're more likely to hear erase an error.
So does the examiner care which one you use?
Not at all. IELTS is international. The key is just using a natural combination of words, what we call collocation. As long as it sounds natural, you're scoring points.
Got it. Okay, so that's a lot packed into just one question.
Dense value in short answers. That's the whole strategy.
Okay, so moving on. The next question is, which do you use more often? Now, this feels a bit repetitive, doesn't it? If you just said 9 times out of 10, how do you answer this without just repeating yourself?
That's a real danger. You don't want to sound annoyed. This is where you use linking phrases. The model answer starts with on the whole.
On the whole. I like that. It's a nice little signpost.
It is. It means generally speaking. And then look at how they quantify it. They don't just say more.
No, they say, I use a pen much more frequently than a pencil.
That's it. Precision.
Yeah.
Much more frequently. It shows you can describe the degree of difference.
But what I really like is the reason why. The justification part.
Yes. The why. The speaker says, because you have to sharpen a pencil, so you need a pencil sharpener.
Okay, I have to be honest. When I read pencil sharpener, I thought, really? That's high-level vocabulary.
It sounds basic, I know. But think about being in an exam. You're nervous. You want to explain why pencils are annoying and you can't find the word. You end up saying, the thing, the little tool.
Oh, I see. You blank on the specific word. I've done that. Pass me the wood shaver thingy.
Exactly. So knowing the specific noun, pencil sharpener, and the verb to sharpen prevents that stumbling. It shows your vocabulary is complete, from abstract ideas down to simple objects.
That makes a lot of sense. It keeps your fluency score up.
It does. Fluency is about accessing the right word at the right time.
Okay, let's move to what I think is the scariest part of any test. The memory lapse. When the examiner asks a question and your mind just goes completely blank.
It happens.
The question is, when was the last time you bought a pen or pencil?
A very tricky one. I mean, honestly, who remembers that?
I certainly don't. I think I'm still using a pen I accidentally took from a restaurant like 3 years ago.
Well, the source material gives us a brilliant strategy here. You don't just sit in silence saying,
Please don't do that. That is the sound of your score dropping.
Instead, the model answer uses this gem off the top of my head.
Off the top of my head. I love that. It's a silver bullet phrase.
It is. It signals to the examiner. I'm about to say something without deep thought. It's just the first thing that comes to mind.
So it buys you time while sounding really fluent.
It does. You're filling the silence with high-quality language while your brain is scrambling for an answer, but there's a big warning that comes with it.
Right. The source is very clear on this.
You can only really use this once in a test.
Just once. Why is that?
Because if you use it over and over, it sounds scripted. It sounds like a trick you learned. It's a rescue flair, not a lifestyle.
A rescue flair. I like that. So the speaker uses this phrase and then explains why they can't remember. They say, I tend to get freebies.
Freebies, a great informal word.
Is that okay for the exam? I thought you had to be really formal.
For the speaking test, no. It's supposed to be a conversation. Freebies, like pens from a hotel or a conference, shows you understand colloquial, everyday English.
It adds some personality. And they follow it up with a time expression.
Yeah.
So I haven't bought one in ages.
Meaning, for a long time. It's perfect for spoken English, but the source makes an important distinction here.
You would not use that in the writing test.
Exactly. For writing, you'd say, for a considerable period. But in speaking, in ages is perfect. It shows you understand the difference in register.
Okay, that's a key takeaway. Register awareness. Now, the final question in our deep dive shifts gears a bit. It moves from practical stuff to something more abstract.
It does. The question is, what do you think if someone gives you a gift of a pen or pencil?
Which is kind of a weird question, isn't it? Happy birthday, here's a pencil.
Well, maybe a really nice fountain pen. But you're right, it forces you to talk about social values. And the tone of the model answer shifts here. It gets more forceful.
Yeah, the speaker starts with, look, it's the thought that counts. That word look at the start, it's pretty strong.
It is. It signals you have a firm opinion. Look, let me tell you how it is.
And then they hit you with that huge idiom, it's the thought that counts.
That's the gold nugget right there.
Yeah. Now, that phrase is almost a cliche. Does using a cliche help you?
In this context, absolutely. It's a fixed expression that shows deep cultural fluency. It perfectly captures the idea that the giver's intention is more important than the gift's price.
Right. It's much better than trying to explain it from scratch.
Much better.
Yeah.
And notice how it flows into the next sentence. So, I appreciate any present I am given.
There's some tricky grammar in there, too. I am given.
Yes. The passive voice. Good catch.
I'd probably just say any present people give me. What's the difference?
Your way is active. The passive, I am given, puts the focus on the present and your experience of receiving it. It's just a slightly more sophisticated grammatical choice.
And they use the word appreciate.
Which is a great word. It's much stronger than like, I like gifts. Sounds a bit childish. I appreciate any present. Sounds more mature, more grateful.
And the final line is just a nice philosophy. You can never have too many pens and pencils.
Which is very true. They just seem to disappear.
They really do. So what does this all mean? We've gone through 4 questions, but we've really found a formula here, haven't we?
Absolutely. This isn't just about pens. You could apply this toolkit to almost any Part 1 topic.
Okay, let's recap that toolkit. First up, idioms.
Right. 9 times out of 10 for frequency, off the top of my head, as your rescue flair. And it's the thought that counts for gifts and values.
Second, the grammar.
Manufacture opportunities. Use the second conditional, if I was, to add complexity, and use the passive voice to shift focus.
Third, be precise.
Use specific nouns like pencil sharpener and freebies, don't be vague, and use quantifiers like much more frequently.
And finally, connect it all with linking phrases.
Exactly. Signposts like on the whole guide the examiner through your answer.
It's amazing how much strategy is hidden in such a simple topic.
The main takeaway is that you control the difficulty. The examiner gives you a simple prompt. You choose to give a complex answer.
You're in the driver's seat. I love that. Before we go, I want to leave everyone listening with a thought. We talked about freebies,
The hotel pens.
but think about this. Do you have a favorite pen you actually bought yourself? Or do you rely on freebies? And how would you explain that using these tools?
That's a great exercise.
Would you say, on the whole, I tend to use freebies because, off the top of my head, I haven't bought a pen in ages?
Or maybe if I were to buy a pen, it would be a very specific brand because I appreciate the quality. Try to say it out loud.
Definitely give it a try. And if you want to keep diving deep into these IELTS topics and uncovering more of these shortcuts of fluency, you know what to do. Please subscribe to the channel for more IELTS podcasts.
Absolutely. We have a lot more to cover.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Goodbye, everyone.